All right, sounds good. Hey everybody, welcome to Team Hardcore Special Edition with Ellen and myself. I'm Jim McDonald, and today we are going to be talking about setting audacious goals for 2015. So, what is an audacious goal? Well, Ed Hillary would say that an audacious goal is something that you decide to do. It's not that you're extraordinary, it's that you're becoming or you're doing things that are extraordinary. So business goals are kind of like mountains, right? So we think of ourselves as mountain climbers. And the reality is that in order to get to the top of a mountain, like Mount Everest, for example, you have to plan for it. You have to set the stage for it. And then you have to develop critical skills that will allow you to get to the top. So the thing that separates great mountain climbers from your average, or awesome, amazing entrepreneurs from just merely being good, is not that person necessarily, but the mountain that they choose to climb. So I don't know if you guys are aware that BHAG, Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal, is actually a term that's been coined and patented out of a book. I believe the author is Jim Collins. And one of the most well-known big, hairy, audacious goals is the man to the moon. So if you weren't familiar, if you don't know about this being a BHAG, what we call a BHAG, let me give you some facts and statistics that you may not know. So at the time that President Kennedy stated that we were going to go to the moon, we were not doing very well in the space race. Russia was kicking our butt as far as reaching every milestone. They were beating us at every single milestone. The American population confidence was extremely low, and there were several people that thought President Kennedy was crazy. And so I'm going to read a quote. So what he said to the American population and to the world, quite frankly, was, "I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish. President John F. Kennedy." So let me ask you guys a question. Isn't that what Beachbody is doing? What is their BHAG? It's to end the trend of obesity. Think about that. That's not like going to happen tomorrow. That's a goal that's going to probably be decades in the making, and we are a part of that. So don't you think that we should be setting big, hairy, audacious goals to match the organization that we have partnered with? Okay, so I'm going to give you the 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off to the moon on how to set audacious goals for 2015. So it takes 4 characteristics, or a BHAG, I should say, has 4 characteristics. It has 3 key elements. It has 2 questions that all roll up to 1 audacious goal. So we're going to go ahead and get into the meat today of the 4, 3, 2, 1 blast off. So 4 characteristics of an audacious goal. So first, it has to be big. Nope. It has to be huge. Nope. It has to be so massive that you're like, oh my gosh, that even thinking about that goal gives you chills. Okay, so now you guys are probably thinking I'm crazy, right? So the second characteristic is it needs time. This is not a goal that you're going to accomplish tomorrow. This is not reaching emerald. Quite frankly, this is not even reaching diamond. your BHAG, your audacious goal is something like 15-star in the next 18 months. Your BHAG should be helping 10 of your personally sponsored coaches reach the six-figure mark. Right? I mean, this is big. Audacious goals are big and they take time to accomplish. The third characteristic is that it requires details that you have no clue are even there yet. Like, so an audacious goal is something that you don't even have a clue how you're going to get there, but it is so huge, so massive. It speaks to you so much that it doesn't matter the details to get there, you're going to find a way to get there. So that's an audacious goal. The last component of an audacious goal is it being specific. It needs to be so specific that anybody that you meet knows you hit it, right? And so I'm going to give you some examples. So my daughter Samantha, between her junior and senior year, had set a goal that she was going to, and I'm talking about high school, not college, that she was going to go away for the summer and do an internship as a junior. Now, her field is veterinary science. If you know anything about veterinary science, you would know that it is harder to get into vet school than it is to get into med school. So for her to go away for a summer and do an internship in the equine, she wants to focus on equine, when you didn't grow up kind of in that world, is crazy, like especially as a junior in high school. And so Samantha set out, she completed her resume, she made phone calls, I helped her of course, and she identified a place in Lexington, Kentucky, which is the mecca of thoroughbred racing, that accepted her. They had never accepted a high school student in the history of their intern program. They had only accepted college students. And they decided, because Samantha's resume, her tenacity, her follow-through, they decided to accept her. And she went as a junior in high school and spent an entire month in Kentucky working on Derby winners, Kentucky Derby, sold that. She actually got to work with that horse. Like, that is an audacious goal. I'll give you another example that's more in our world. Tara Carr. Tara Carr's husband was a Spec Ops guy. Spec Ops guys live in their Spec Ops communities, and they are so loyal to their mission of protecting our country. So in addition to that, she lived in Okinawa, Japan. Her goal, her big, hairy, audacious goal was to retire her husband and bring him home so that they could be together as a family. That's huge, right? That's massive. So those are some examples of audacious goals. So, and I want you guys to stop. And for everybody that's on this call or that's listening, think about the goals that you put in on your team page. Do any of those match these characteristics? So just be thinking about that as we go through today. So, and while we're going through, be brainstorming with a pen and paper, some audacious, crazy, huge, massive goals that are going to take time to accomplish. Okay, so next is 3 key elements of audacious goals. So number 1 is it takes vision. So in 1934, Walt Disney set a BHAG, and his BHAG was to have the first animated full-length film in the theaters. And so many people thought he was crazy. They're like, oh, we like to watch that as a commercial, but you're never going to get somebody to sit through an entire feature-length film of animation. No way, you're not doing it. Well, guess what? In 1934, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs hit, and they made 100 times more money than it took to even create that film. So that's a BHAG. Vision, lights, camera, action. It should be big. Another key element is audaciousness, which essentially in my mind means that, hey, this is risky business. This is risky business because if you don't accomplish it, maybe great things are not going to happen for you. And so an example of that, it being risky business, but people going forward anyways, is Boeing. Boeing released the 707 and the 747. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it almost bankrupted them. That was their BHAG. That was their big, hairy, audacious goal, was releasing and launching those two aircraft. And it almost bankrupted them. And the reason was because the sales were coming in so slow that they almost couldn't sustain the overhead. So as Beachbody coaches, are there months when things are going so slow and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can keep going? I know for me that's happened. This summer, my business barely stayed afloat. So understand that it's risky business. Your audacious goal is risky. The third element of an audacious goal is discipline. Discipline is required for setting and achieving audacious goals. You improve your odds of success with discipline. And so know that that is a key element for an audacious goal. 2 questions of audacious goals, and there's only 2. What can you be the best in the world at? Is question number 1. Now, I don't mean like best in the world, Jerry Rice, I'm going to beat Michael Jordan type of thing. I mean best in your world, in your community, in your industry, in your circle of influence. What can you be the best in the world at? And let me just check. So it's a category. It's a category of your influence. It's maybe you're the best in nutrition, or maybe you're the best at helping people that are extremely overweight lose, 10, 15, 20, 50 pounds and keep it off. So what are you the best in the world at? Maybe it's motivation. Question number 2 is, what are you passionate about? So passion drives our core purpose, right? It drives what great companies are made of, like Beachbody. It drives great coaches. Passion is that tingling feeling when you think about your goal. It's that goosebumps. I think Tara Carr says, actually it's Lindsay Matway, if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough. So it's what gets you out of bed in the morning. That's where your passion is. So your 2 questions for audacious goals is, what can you be the best in the world at? And what are you passionate about? Okay, so you've been waiting for the 3, 2, 1 blast off, right? So we're at the 1 audacious goal. Are you ready? Wait, we aren't ready yet. Few things that you need to know before we talk about your 1 audacious goal. 1 is that the goal is meant to shift how you do business. So maybe right now you're watching 2 hours of TV at night and you're only spending 15 minutes on your business. Maybe that needs to switch. So an audacious goal, it's meant to shift the way you do business. An audacious goal is impossible to achieve without consistency. It's impossible to achieve without pushing outside your comfort zone and displaying commitment and confidence that you may not know how to get there, but you are going to get there no matter what. An audacious goal is bigger, it's bolder, it is more powerful than any regular long-term or short-term goal. Again, I said this earlier, this isn't hitting emerald or even diamond. This isn't even hitting Success Club 5 every month. It's bigger than that. Your audacious goal, the driving element of your audacious goal, is your willingness to completely change your mindset, to commit to doing it differently, and to envision that big picture. So if right now you've got things kind of churning in your head and you're taking notes as fast as you can and you're thinking about that big, hairy, audacious goal, then you're ready to set your audacious goal for 2015. So step 1, here comes the meat of it, everybody. creating an audacious goal, step one. Step one is you must conceptualize it. A dream with a deadline and numbers attached to it, something measurable. So start to conceptualize it. Here's how you do it in 5 ways. You brainstorm your goals. That means you write down every single goal that you could possibly think of. Success Club Legend, Success Club All-Star, Emerald, Diamond, Ruby, 1-star, 10-star, helping 20 people, helping 3 people a month. Every goal that you can possibly think of, write it down. The second part of that is identify the crazy one. The one, and Celine calls it a push goal, so we're calling it an audacious goal. The one that if you achieved it, so many other things would happen. Be specific. So one of the things I noticed on my team page and on Ellen's team page was that there was not a lot of specificity in our goals. Specificity requires a deadline, and it requires that there's some specific numbers. I think a couple people said, you know, reach Diamond in 2015. Nope, you need to have an exact date. I will reach Diamond by the 25th of December 2015, something like that. So be specific. Now take your goal and rewrite it in the positive. So one of my coaches wants to double her income. So I will earn X, and in her case, it's $100,000, which is twice my current income. The next component of creating an audacious goal, step one, and conceptualizing it, the last component is so what. You need to be able to, in writing, write so what, and so what if I don't. So if I earn $100,000, which is twice my current income, I will be able to purchase a house. I will be able to quit my job. I will be able to take my diamonds on an annual trip. I will be able to adopt 12 kids from World Vision and feed them. I will be able to educate 100 kids in a third world country. Let's take Tony Robbins, for example. I will be able to feed 100 million people, right? So that's the so what. Here's the things that will happen if I achieve this. Then you have to do the so what if I don't. So if I don't earn $100,000, which is twice my current income, I will be stuck in a 500 square foot apartment with my family. I will have debt looming over my head. I will not have freedom to choose. I will view myself as a failure, right? So that's what happens if you don't. So those are the ways that, those are the 5 steps that you need to do and write down in order to conceptualize your hairy audacious goal. Step 2 is you have to test it. Can you dedicate yourself to achieving it? And the only way that you will dedicate yourself to achieving it is if it excites you, if it scares you, if it inspires you, if it is measurable and life-changing, and if it'll stretch you. So you take that audacious goal that you've written down, and if you don't have one yet, you're going to do this as homework, right? And then you test it. Do you get goosebumps when you talk about it? Does it scare you? Like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there, right? So make sure and test it, because that's a critical component. Step number 3 is commit to it. Can you commit to this audacious goal with a level of intensity that is so unrelenting that you are going to hit it? Now, there's 5 steps in committing to it. First is memorize it. How do you memorize it? Well, you make it so specific and so tweetable that it's easy to memorize. So once you have your audacious goal, you need to narrow it down into 140 characters so that you can actually memorize it. Oops, sorry, missed my spot. Okay, and then be able to tweet it. Speak it. We talked about this on a couple of the team pages, right? Speak it. This is the ability to put it out there to other people I'm sorry, to speak it to yourself. Sorry, speak it to yourself. And when you speak it to yourself, you are actually giving it some life. You're breathing life into it. The next component of committing to it is sharing it. The ability to share it, because when you share it, you're giving it a heartbeat. You're essentially pumping CPR and you're pumping blood into the heart of that goal. Then once you've been able to do those three components, you mature, you move to the planet. And in the planet stage, this is where your brainstorming comes in. You need to brainstorm everything that would need to happen in order for that audacious goal to come fruition. And last, and the thing that I think is so missed, is to be accountable for it. This is where you need a success partner. Being accountable for it is what separates you from the rest. So think about your challengers for a second. And think about the challengers that post every day, that send you your before pictures, that cheer on other people, that are totally there. Aren't those the ones that you recruit to coach? Why? Because they're the ones that are most successful. So you've got to be accountable for it. So you got to memorize it, you got to speak it, share it, plan it, and then you got to be accountable for it. All right, so what is all, that's a lot of information, right? So how do you blast off in 2015? This, at least for me, is what I'm going to require my personally sponsored coaches, and I believe that Ellen will probably do the same. If you want to reach your hairy, audacious goal, your big, hairy, audacious goal in 2015, or at least begin to move towards it, maybe you'll reach it in 16, and you want to work with myself or with Ellen or some of the other top coaches in our group, Kara Churchill and some other folks, you've got to complete this homework. So step number one is complete all those three steps that we just talked about. This will be recorded so you can go back and listen to it and internalize it and redo it and get it on paper. You must complete the 3 steps on paper. Number 2 is you must send that to your upline coach. Now, if you're an orphan like me and you don't have an upline coach, then send it to the person that is in your upline that is working the business and has agreed to work with you to help you reach your big, hairy, audacious goal. Next is you need to share it with your success partner, which means that you actually need to have a success partner for 2015. If you don't have one yet, you got to get one. Reach out to your upline, ask them to help you find a success partner. Number 4 is you've got to schedule weekly calls. In your weekly calls, you are going to do 4 things. You are going to tell your success partner or your upline coach what you did that week that was on your brainstorm list that needs to happen in order to reach your audacious goal. You're going to tell that person what you're going to do next week, what you're committing to do next week in order to move towards your audacious goal. You're going to share, third, what you struggled with that week. And fourth, you're going to end on a positive note and you're going to share with them what just rocked that week. Here's the deal, guys. We want to blast off with our audacious goals. We want to be able to reach the moon. We want to be able to have a desktop on every, a computer, laptop, desktop on every desk. That's Microsoft's audacious goal. With Beachbody, we want to never give up and end the trend of obesity. Isn't that what we signed up for? So 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by not achieving your audacious goal than you will by the things that you achieve, the goals that you reach. So be so filled with wonder and in building your audacious goal that you can't help but reach it. All right, everybody. Appreciate your time today. I hope that you follow through, that you listen to this again if you didn't take down notes fast enough, and that at the end of the day that you blast off for 2015 and you do the 4 things, the 4 homework assignments coming out of today.
Thank you, CJ. Look, I I covered an entire page in notes during that talk. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Great for us.
Hey, no problem. So does anybody have any questions? Because that was like crazy, right?
I do.
Are we on? Oh, go ahead.
Hey, this is Bill. For your homework, after I have to schedule weekly calls, I didn't get past that. I'm going to share what I'm going to do in the coming week. What was after that?
Okay, so you've got to share what you're going to do, or first you're going to say what you did, so that week prior. Yep. Then you're going to share what you're going to commit to the following week. Then you're going to share what you struggled with that week. And then last, you're going to share what you just rocked at that week. Because too often, I think we focus on what we didn't accomplish.
Oh, thanks.
Somebody else have a question? Ellen, did somebody else have a question?
I thought, Fuji, didn't you have a question?
Oh, no, I don't have a question. It was great, though. No, I didn't have a question. Are we still recording?
Yeah. Do you want me to end the recording so you can go off record?
No, I was just curious. I thought it was really good. I think that I think one of the biggest mistakes people make and when they set audacious goals is that they make the mistake of thinking that the desire of your goal is going to immediately equal you reaching the goal. Mm-hmm. And that what we miss is the steps that CJ went over, that you have to make the steps, you have to make a list, and you have to cross them off and continue to move forward. Because a lot of people, when we see it in clients with weight loss, I'm ready, I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year. And then they think because they want it so bad that want is going to equal that goal happening. And it's just not. That want and the desire isn't enough. You have to take the actions that CJ went over. So I thought it was good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think personally that as leaders, I mean, especially like with Ellen and, Ellen, with you going for 5 and 10 star right now and moving forward, and with Fuji and Brian and some of your other folks that are right behind you, and I've got Sean Hill and Shannon Smith. I mean, these are upcoming leaders. Mm-hmm. I think that we have to mandate that our upcoming leaders are filling this out and are doing this homework in order to work with us, right? Because if they aren't willing to put in the time to do this homework, then they aren't brainstorming what it's going to take. I mean, I missed Elite this year. And I got to tell you that it is probably was the goal that I set. For me, I didn't miss it because I didn't know what it required to get there. I missed it because I didn't have anybody to partner with, and that's an excuse in some cases, somebody to hold me accountable when I said I was going to do something. And that is so critically important when you've got to make that list, and then you've got to get on that phone with somebody that says, CJ, you said you were going to do these 5 things last week. Did you do them? No, I didn't.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think the timing of, first of all, I should have introduced this call with this. The timing of you posting that question on my team page was so perfect. And I don't even know if that was super deliberate on your part or not. Knowing you, it probably was. But it really, it triggered a huge response. And the timing couldn't be better as we're heading into this new year. And I agree. I mean, I talked to Fuji and Brian Saunders the most about my goals and my business and what are you doing and who are you talking to and what are your leads and how many success club points do you have, and we have this like community of dreaming big, but I think that this specific conversation, this specific homework needs to be done by all of us, myself included, even though I almost have it down into total specifics what I want. I think we all need to do this homework, and then one of our conversations every week needs to be, where are you at on this list? And another thing, I just had someone come back. I had a dog on each side of me, sorry. So, what was I going to say about that? You mentioned something too that I also noticed when I read those goals is a lot of them are just a little bit non-specific. And when they're general and we can't measure them, we can't check them off. Like Fuji just said, we can't measure them. And we can't just say, I want to spend more time with my family. That's a great goal and a great desire, but I'm going to sit down and have a family dinner 5 nights a week at my dinner table, or I'm going to unplug from Facebook every night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. or whatever it is. It has to be tangible and specific. And I thought we all of us, myself included. Hi, Tabby, that's my daughter.
Yeah. I like her talking to Jan.
Yeah, it's recorded too. Anyway, here's my life. Anyway, so I just thought it was so great.
And two, I think, Ellen, that what I learned in going through a lot of these goal settings was the fact that, and Bill will even tell you, our key priorities have changed. Like last year, going into this year, one of our key priorities for Bill and I was finances. We wanted to be debt-free. We wanted this. We wanted that. And when we set a goal, a very audacious goal for our business, there are a lot of goals. So some of the goals that we talk about and that were posted on your team page, they're goals that kind of make up your audacious goal. But in an audacious goal, so I could totally see Ellen setting this audacious goal. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna breathe my life into her. So I could see Ellen posting her audacious goal for 2016 to be, 5 millionaires, her personally sponsored millionaires, right? I could see her posting that with, 15 of her personally sponsored coaches reaching diamond. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, do you get chills with that? Like, my big, hairy, audacious goal is 15 star. Really? How about, I'm going to help grow 5 millionaires. I'm going to help 15 of my personally sponsored coaches hit the 6-figure. Now do you get goosebumps?
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So can you get behind that big, hairy, audacious goal when you describe it in your specificity and it's inspiring, and you can explain it to people and they totally get it, right? So that's the difference between some goals like hitting Success Club, which are obviously important. I'm not discounting that, but there's a huge difference, right? And I could see from the little I know about Fuji and watching her manage the YBY and her posts and stuff, Ellen, she's just like you. Like
I know.
that, she's like, oh my gosh, like, are you guys sisters from another mister? I mean, seriously.
We get asked that all the time.
Yeah, because I could totally see her doing the same thing. Like her, yeah. So anyways, I'm rambling now, but I think you guys get the point.
I think it's really important.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go. You go.
The whole Success Club partner thing, it's almost like I put that in terms because of my athletic background. Everybody needs a coach, that person that you're going to be accountable to. And it doesn't have anything to do with, that I don't know. I know how to train. I know how to do this. But that doesn't mean I don't need someone to be accountable to. It doesn't have anything to do with a lack of knowledge. It's about that, like you said, you have to report to someone who you hold higher than maybe yourself, that you can let yourself down, but you can't let your coach down, because that person is believing in you and spending time on you and putting energy into you. And you don't want to let those people down who are on your bus.
Yep. Totally agree.
Ellen, what were you going to say?
Just that, I mean, even though like some of these concepts I've mulled over and thought through, DJ, some of your words were just different for me on this. Like, I've never actually written down, even though I write down clear, specific goals, I'm big into writing them. I've never written down like, so what if I do? And so what if I don't? Like, I've never done some of these steps before, so I'm excited to apply it. And it is scary.
And like
it is scary. To dream big is terrifying, because what if we fail? And then there's our ego and our pride and invested time and the people that knew what we were dreaming for. It's a lot on the line.
Yeah. And like, I can tell you that I failed this year. Like, there were some goals that I still hit, but my big, hairy, audacious goal, I failed this year. I failed miserably. And I learned from that. So that failure ends up being a positive thing in my life, because it has allowed me to go through the training and really do the research on audacious goals, right?
And Karen, what was your big? I missed that. What was your big? What did you miss?
So I missed elite this year. So when all said and done, I didn't term it this because I didn't know it then, but my big, hairy, audacious goal was walking across the stage next year at Summit as a 5-star hitting elite. And I walked across the stage last year, and I know we've got less than 1 minute, so I'll hurry. I walked across the stage last year, and so at that point in time, I said, I will walk across the stage again next year with